Why we need to create the indexes, Anna? To improve our query performance, we will go for the indexes. Internally, what it will perform, how it will work. Yes, internally it will create the one separate table with one column that is indexed column, and another one is with offset value. Okay, offset value is having the row ID com- complete value further. Okay, so everything it will be stored inside that one. Whenever you are querying the data, if you are applying the filter on the index column, it will go and search in the your index table instead of your original table. So since it is the index table is order, data will be retrieved very fastly. Clear? So how it will perform? It's based upon the binary tree structure format. It will search. Clear? How many types of indexes we are having? Hmm? How many types of indexes we are having? Yeah, we can create manually. Sometimes, if you are creating the constraints and all, automatically index will be created internally. Okay. So there are two different types of indexes are there. One is unique B-tree index and non-unique non-B-tree index. Okay. So again, B-tree indexes are two types. One is unique B-tree index and non-unique B-tree index. Okay. So unique means by seeing name itself we can come to know it won't allow any duplicates. It will be unique values will be having inside the table. Okay, for the particular column. Non-unique means it will allow duplicates, but still data will be saved in the form of tree structure manners logically. Okay, so that it is easily perform the query execution things and all. Okay, this here clear, right? B-tree index and non-B-tree index. Then what about bitmap index? Whenever you are having very low less number of unique values in the column, okay, like gender, job, okay, and departments, like that, if you are having any low cardinality values in the table, if you are still, if you want to create the indexes and all such type of columns, means you can go with the bitmap indexes. Okay, what internally it will do, for internally it will create a separate table along with your data. It will be created the for each and unique value, it will be created separate column, and if that value is present, it will make the one. Okay, rest of the things it can just I for your understanding I told zero internally, it won't store any zero at all. Only it will store the one only. So whenever you are querying the data for particular value, okay, so then it will pick the only wherever you are having the one, only those values will be picked up. Clear? Next, function based index. Normally, what are all the rules to apply for the indexes? Yes, normally if you are any applying any function or any not null operation, okay, is null not equal to negative conditions and all, if you are applying anything, your index scan will not fire. Okay, index will not get index table will not get executed. Okay, why? Because it won't apply on the null values and your functions. Okay, still if you want to create the index on the functions, if you are working regularly on the function, okay, by using that for the particular column, if you are applying any function regularly this in the where classes and all, then you can create instead of creating the normal table, you can create the function based index for specific column, so that your query will be executed very fast. Okay, same way how you are creating the non-unique index now, same way only. The index creation is nothing is there, just create index name on table of your column name. That's it. If you are creating function based index, you need to specify along with your function as well. Clear? Anybody have any doubts in this function, the indexes? Okay, next we'll go with the constraints. What is general meaning of constraint? Anybody tell me? Constraint. General meaning, I am asking. Constraints means some restriction. General English meaning. Sir, no. Some condition. Okay, some restriction for that. Okay. So in Oracle also you can prevent invalid data into the database. Okay, if you want to prevent such type of things, please you can go with the constraints. Okay. So by seeing this slide also you can come to know that one. It will prevent the invalid data entries into the table. Okay. There are different types of constraints we are having. One is not null and unique queue and primary key, foreign key, check constraint. Not null. By seeing this constraint name, you can come to know that one. Okay, what is that constraint? Not null means that specific column it won't allow any null values. Okay, clear? It won't allow any null values for the particular column. Okay, unique queue. Unique queue means what? It will allow only non-duplicates. It won't allow any duplicate values. Still, it can allow the null values for that, but won't allow the duplicates. Okay. Primary key. Primary key means all the times we discussed that one, but not went deep much. But still, we are having that one. It is a not null plus unique queue. We can say that one simply. Okay. Primary key means it is a not null plus unique queue key. And foreign key means there will be some relationship between one table to another table. Based upon this one only you can able to define the which one is the master table, which one is the child table. Okay, for establishing the relationships and all means you can go with the foreign key. Okay, check constraint. Okay, check constraint means normally if you want to restrict some particular limit values, okay, then you can go with the check constraints and all. Okay, there are two types of constraints are there. One is table level constraint and column level constraint. Table level constraint means what? By seeing that name, okay, you are defining the constraints at table level. It is not at the column level. Okay, column level means it's specific to particular column. Okay, if it is a table level means it will be applicable for entire table. Okay, so if you are specifying some not null or unique queue for the column, okay, means how a constraint will be defined na? Create table name, column name and data type size, this you know. Okay, if you want to define any constraint on the column, okay, just besides the column name only, column data type only you can specify that constraint. Okay, what type of constraint you want, that you can specify. Okay, this you can say constraint. If you want to define constraint at a table level means After writing all the columns, you can add that, okay, with comma. You can add that constraint type and brackets. You need to specify the what are all the columns you want, that you can add that one. Okay, there are two types of constraint: table level and column level. If you are giving the constraint type at column, besides the column means, you can that we can say column level. If you are not if you are defining your constraint at the end of the table, table definition after writing the all the columns means, then you can say table level constraint. This is about very brief. Okay, let me go with each and every topic. Not null constraint. Actually, not null constraint you cannot apply on table level. It will apply on only column level. Okay, already we discussed. Not null means it won't allow any null values. Okay, but you can able to write duplicate values also for that. But you should not allow. You should not enter any null values for that. Okay. Let me write. A table. Table name is underscore not null. Okay. So here let me write a number, b number. Okay, what I told. So no need to explain without null constraint and all. Directly we can go with this one. Not null constraint will define at only column level. You cannot define at table level. Okay, so where you need to specify not null after column definition only, right? So you can add that constraint at column level only. After writing your column name and data type, you can specify your constraint. Clear? Here, this is very simple. No need to think much. Easily we can create this not null constraint will be there in all the databases. Okay. Maybe that foreign key, primary key will not be there in the other databases and all, but this will be there in all the places. Okay. Let me insert the data for that. Insert into tab. What is our things? 1 comma 2. Okay, both are numbers. I am having. So let me write that way. Okay, one row is inserted. Okay, you can insert same row once again. Still, it will allow. Okay, you can insert null value for the first column. Okay, you are define the column value, right? So if you are trying to insert the null value for the first column, okay, it won't give error. It won't insert the record. Why? Because you are defined the not null constraint for the first column. Okay, so what error you will get? You should be remember that what error you are getting. Okay, so what error you are getting, cannot insert null into the table. Okay, so that error you will be having. So for that you need to just you can remember by seeing this error names itself, you can come to know what is the mistake we are doing here. Okay, you can remember if you are going with Oracle means you should be remembering your Oracle number also, ORA 1400. Okay, cannot insert null values. Okay, nothing is there in this one. You can enter the duplicates also, no issue, but you should not insert the null values for the particular column. Clear? Okay, you can name your constraint. Okay, if you want, you are creating the kernel, right? If you want, you can give your name, one name. Okay, how you can specify that one is, just after specifying your column name, you need to specify the constraint. Okay, constraint, you can specify the name also, not null like that. Okay, this tab underscore const. Okay, like that, if you want, you can give any name. Okay, table one is created. See how we can check the constraint names and now select star from DBA underscore constraints. where table name equal to, you can specify your table name. Okay, if you are not giving any name means it will be, system will define the name automatically. If you are giving the any name means it will take that one. Okay, for this table actually we are not defined any name. Okay, so simply we have written the not null. Okay, if you are not giving the constraint name and all means system will take care of that one, defining the names and all. It is defined with sys underscore c something. Okay, sys underscore c means it is a constraint. Sys underscore I means it will be index name. Okay, like that it will be there. Clear? If you want check with this one, right? So not null one, you can define this constraint name will be whatever you are defined. It is a, because name you are given right for this particular thing. Okay, that whatever you have given that will be saved here. Okay, constraint type, that is constraint. Okay, that is of not null. Yeah, such condition is this one. Okay, and this will be that information whatever you are defined for the constraint, that information will be there here. Clear? Next, anybody have any doubts in this not null? Nothing is there here, this one. Just simply you are adding not null. If you are adding the not null, it won't allow null values. You can allow the, it will allow the duplicate values also. Okay, next, unique queue. Okay, by seeing this name itself you can come to know what is unique queue. It won't allow any duplicates. Okay, but it will allow the null values as well. Okay, let me create that table. We can define this unique constraint at column level as well. Okay, not only column level, it can allow in table level as well. Okay, let me create, this is unique. Okay, this not null table underscore unique. Okay, like that you can enter the, create the table. Okay, table unique is created. Okay, let me insert the records for this table. Okay. Here. Yeah, sorry. Okay, yeah, right. Yeah. So what we need to use, you need to specify that unique queue. That's it. Nothing is there in this one. Okay, just you can specify that table unique will be created. Next, try to insert the values for the particular table. Okay, see this you know already, it will insert the records. Okay, I am trying to insert the same record again for that. Okay, it won't allow. Okay, even though if you are changing other columns and all, still it won't allow because it is comparing the value. It's one is already there or not, it will check for that because you are defined the what, you are defined the unique constraint for the particular table. Okay, so if you are checking, it will be in giving the error, that is unique constraint violation. Okay, ORA 1 00001. Okay, this constraint violation will be there, this error will be you are getting. Okay, if you want you can insert the null values also for this one. Okay, still it will allow. Okay, you can add n number of null values here. Let me add, this will allow. Okay, because null won't compare with your existing data. Sir, no, you can add n number of null values for that, but you cannot add the original values duplicates. Clear? Next, what I told, unique constraint you can define at table level as well. Same. Okay, unique constraint you can define at table level as well. What I told, if you want to create the constraint at table level means you need to specify your constraint at the end of the table definition. Okay, after completing your all the columns you can define that one. Okay, so you need to use the comma as well here. Okay, you can give comma and you can specify the constraint name. Okay, if you want to specify that one you can use that one. If don't want you can ignore this one, this part. Okay, so you can directly you can define that one. Okay, so this I can give name as a unique underscore table level. Okay, so what I told, you need to specify the column name here. Okay, which column you are creating. Okay, let me create the column for the B column as well. B column, not for the A column. Okay, unique underscore tab level. Okay, table is created. Next, let me insert the same data once again. Okay. Here, if you want, you can change this one. Here, this record is inserted. Next, you are not changing the second value. Okay, you are created the index constraint for the second column, right? So you can do that one. Okay, it won't allow because it says 2 is already there. Okay, if you are giving another value it will be allowed, this already you know. Okay, if you want you can give null values also. Here it's already you know, this will allow null values. Clear? Already we are having constraint definition at column level, still why we need the table level? Why? Because if you want you can add n number of columns here. Okay, so if you want to create a combination, okay, so you can add that one. Okay, instead of single column if you want you can create at multiple columns. Okay, so what is this meaning? It will be combination of unique. Okay, maybe this value is duplicate but another value will not be duplicate. Okay, so this combination it will check. Okay, let me insert that records. So, two columns. Okay, just you can specify that one. Okay, this is one combination. Table is created. Okay, name is already constraint. Okay, this name constraint name, if you are specifying that constraint name always you should be give unique name for that. Okay, because your table will be having that constraint names, right? So inside that one it will be all the times it will be unique. Okay, table 2 is created. Let me insert the records for this one. Record will be inserted. Okay, again I am having duplicate value for B but value is this one. Okay, this record will be inserted. Okay, so because another value is different, right? So now one already I'm having for the first column but this combination is not there. Okay, you won't get any error. Okay, let me try to insert same record. Okay, with combination 1 comma 3 only. Okay, now you will get the constraint violation error. Okay, so if you are defining the unique constraint at multiple columns means it will check for the combination whether that combination is existed in the table or not. Okay, it will check and it will do the validation. Clear? In this one also you can enter the multiple records. Okay, with this one also 2 comma null already is there. Okay, So another record is not inserting because already you are entered that one. Okay, clear? Anybody have any doubts in this unique constraint? No, right? Yeah, and one more point here is if you are defining the unique constraint, internally it will creates the one index. I told right yesterday, you can create index automatically also. Even though if you are not creating externally, system will automatically it will creates the indexes as well. If you want to check, you can see that one. Select star from any table you can take. Okay, DBA underscore indexes, right? Our this one index where table underscore name equal to you can see this table name. You can take any table, it will be there. So, DB. Okay. See internally it will creates the one normal index that is of unique type. Okay, means what unique index what it will do by default index type will be binary tree, that don't forget. Okay, so binary b-tree index is created by default. Actually, do we created any index for this one? No, we are creating the constraint only, but still it is creating the one index inside that one. What does mean? It will sort the data in the B-tree structure manner. Okay, so whenever you are inserting the new record, it will check. Means if you are not creating the index for so that time means what index constraint will do all the times. If data is not in the particular order, what will happen? It will go and come. It will check entire table. Yes or no? If you are having index, what will happen? Yeah, it won't check entire data, it will check for only index table so that your query means it will avoid the so many number of scanning. Okay, so many number of records in scanning. Okay, so to restrict the things and all, normally it will internally it will utilize the one index. If it is there already, you can it will utilize that one, otherwise it will create the by default. Okay, I hope everybody come to know now why index is important. Okay, even with constraint in with index, also you can able to restrict. Okay, if you are creating the unique index, also you can able to restrict that values and all. Yeah, same thing you can do with constraint as well. Internally, it will utilize the index only. Again, okay. Next, primary key will explain last. Okay, primary key and foreign key. Next, another constraint is what? Check constraint. Five constraints I told, right? Not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, and check constraint. Okay. So, what is check meaning? Before inserting the records, it will check for the value. Okay, what value you are defined for that. Okay, that it will take. Okay, so sometimes okay, let me take example account. Okay, if you are depositing more than 50,000, what they will ask mandatorily? Pan card they will ask, right? Pan card copy or pan number they will ask. So simply how we can define that one normally? Yeah, do we have any conditional basis in till now discussed? cases you can able to insert or you can query. But do we have any restrictions with case? We cannot do that one. Okay, if you are inserting some value, instead of that, if you want, you can insert another value, but you cannot restrict the insertion. Sir, no. If you want to give some restrictions on the DML operations, then you can go with the check constraint. Okay. Yeah, let me create that one. Let me create account table only. Okay, account number, if you want you can give n number. Okay, that is not null. If you want you can give that one. Okay, b, this is name. Okay, account holder name, that is of varchar2. You can give n number of. Okay, next, what are all the possible columns? You should be having some deposit amount, that would be number of some 10 comma 2. Okay, next, what we are giving PAN number. Okay, PAN is mandatory or not. Okay, that is of varchar2 type. It is take the maximum size would be 10. Okay, and 2 will be precision. Okay, scale means if you want 10 paisa, 20 paisa, 30 paisa, 25 paisa. Okay, if you want to give that scale values and all, means you can go with the 10 comma 2 for the number fields. Even, yes, it won't exceed more than 10 digits. Okay, if you want to go with the dot values, okay, decimal values means, then you have to define that size as well. Okay, how much you want to allow after digit. Okay, if you are giving means 10 some 200 point some 5 6 7 like that, if you are giving means it won't allow. Okay, some databases by default it will trunk that value to the 2 digits, or sometimes it will give error. Okay, it depends upon the database, it will be defining that one. Okay, so let me come to our requirement. What I told, I want to make that I want to restrict that value. Okay, if I am giving if I am depositing more than 50,000, I want to make this PAN card is mandatory. How you can make that one means, check. Okay, what I need to make, deposit amount, right? Deposit amount is less than 50,000 or PAN is mandatory. Sir, no. So what we can make, simply we can make the PAN is not null. So how we can do that one? Earlier classes I have written that condition. Okay, let me write that one. Only one condition now. Let me add another condition. So I want to make, okay, this I am writing as a some table level constraint. Table already existed. Okay. First I am, what I am restricting this one. Just I am making the deposited amount should be less than 50,000. Okay, let me insert the records. Insert into some count table. Okay, instead of that one, instead of table level, let me define at column level first. Okay, column level means only one column, right? You cannot add multiple columns here. Okay, only table level only you can add multiple columns. So here what you can do, you can define the just column level. What you have to do, just after defining your table column sizes and all, you have to specify, means you are restricting the deposit amount should be less than this one. Okay, let me drop and recreate that one. Okay, insert into account values, account name, some ABC, deposit rate amount. Okay, let me give some 30,000. You can use some ABC. Okay, it will allow because our deposit amount is less than 50,000. Let me try to insert some other record. Okay, if you want, we can define the columns as well. Okay, account number, account name, deposit amount. Okay, so I am not giving the PAN number here. Okay, it will allow. You are not defining the primary keys and all, it will allow duplicates as well. Okay, so it will allow. Let me increase the deposited amount. Okay, let's see what will happen. I will make some 50,000. Okay, just only less than only I am given, right? So just I am giving the next number. I am trying to insert what it will give. It is check constraint violation because it is not allowing the value to insert more than or equal to 50,000 because we have the defined one condition at column level. Okay, so it won't allow more than 50,000, more than or equal to, because we have defined only less than operation, greater than option, right? Less than operation. So only it will take the, if it is less than 50,000, then only data will be inserted. If you are if you are giving more than that one means it won't give that one. Clear? Let me add one more condition. What I told earlier, if the deposit amount is more than 50,000, I want to make PAN is mandatory. I don't want to restrict him, but I should take one PAN card of him. Okay. So how we can take that one means you need to, where you need to define, if you want to utilize more number of columns, you cannot define at column level. Okay, column level means it's specific to only particular column, but you cannot add multiple columns here. My question is what I want to make, that is, if the either deposit amount should be less than 50,000, or if more than that one means I need PAN is mandatory. So you want to use the two columns, right? So how you can make that one means you need to specify your constraint at table level. Okay, so you can check constraint either deposit amount is less than 50,000, or you can specify that PAN is mandatory. How you can define that one means PAN is not null. I guess this won't work. Table already exist, account underscore table level. Okay, yeah, account is table level. Okay, either I am entering the value 50,000 less than, or I am making the PAN is mandatory. Okay, here actually value is less than 50,000. Here I am not asking any, I am not giving any PAN number here. Okay, still record is allowing. Okay, let me insert that record. Okay, I will use the same record here as well. Okay, values is same values I'm inserting. Okay, value is less than 30,000. system won't ask for the any restriction, because this first condition itself it is satisfying. Okay, I am depositing the amount less than 50,000. That's why I am not giving PAN number as PAN number here. Okay, let me change my deposited amount here. I want to make 50,000. Okay, it will ask for this one. Okay, check constraint violation. Okay, of course it won't ask, it won't show what is the conditions inside that one, but it will give that one. Okay, let me add another row here. So that is with PAN. Okay, we are having that one, right? So what I will make, I will enter the PAN with same deposit amount only. Okay, from A B C D. Okay, this is the normal thing, right? PAN, this one. Okay, let me use that one. Okay, record is inserted. Deposit amount is what? 50,000. Either PAN is okay, 50,000 deposit amount should be less than 50,000, or you are entering the PAN value. Earlier we are not entered the PAN value also. That's why it is not allowing. Either any one of the condition is true, then it will allow to insert the records and all. Clear? Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah, I am depositing 50,000 only here. This one, this won't allow. Why? Can you tell me that one? Why? You are not entering the PAN number here. Okay, I am taking only three columns here. Okay, it is 50 is not less than that one. It is a less than equal to operator, right? It is 50,000 equal to. Yeah, if you are mentioning the 50,000, still it will allow here. Okay, we are not mentioning equal to. That's why it is taking the false condition. Okay, so either any one of the conditions should pass here, because we are specifying the R condition here. Okay, if you are specifying any one of the satisfying any one of the condition, system will allow that allow to insert the records and all. Okay, yeah, it will allow. If we are mentioning like this means it will allow. Yeah. Okay, let me recreate the table. Okay, you can insert that one. We, even though without having that condition also it will allow. Okay, because it is satisfying, because equal to, right? So it will satisfy. If you are trying to insert more than that one, okay, then it will give error. Okay, this time it will give error because your deposit amount is crossing the limit value. Okay, again here, if you are not considering that deposit amount, if you are giving this one, okay, let me remove this record, this one, it will allow, because for these two values there is no restriction. Okay, this will allow even though without having that check or shade column. If you are specifying that particular column, then you should be insert the this entry. Okay, you should consider this condition and you can enter the values. Clear? So here actually I am giving this one and I am giving more than that one, it will ask for the PAN. Clear? If we are entering the PAN, then only it will allow, otherwise it won't allow if value is more than 50,000. Okay, if you want to check your things and all means, you can go with the constraints where table underscore name equal to, you have to specify your table name. Okay, count underscore tab. Okay, go and check your constraint details here. Your constraint, we are not specified any name, right? Name we are not specified. That's why system will by default it will take the system name. Okay, it starts from sys underscore c. Okay, like that it will be take, and search condition whatever you are having that will be taken here, and all the times it will check whenever you are doing the DML operations, that one. Clear? If you want to make name that one, how you can do? Simply you can add constraint, that's it. Okay, so you can specify that constraint here. Constraint. Okay, underscore count. Like that you can specify, it will take that one. Okay, just nothing is there, simply you can add that name, that constraint name. Okay, if you want to give your own name for the constraint, you can go with that. Okay, check constraint, check account, right? So that will become here, otherwise it will take the by default system name. Till now anybody have any doubts? Not null, check, unique, no, right? Okay, we take primary key now. Primary key, what I told earlier, primary key means it's a combination of not null and unique. Means you should not insert null values for the particular column, and you should not insert the duplicate also for that. Okay, this we can say primary key. Okay, you, we can define this primary key also at table level and column level, except not null we can define all constraint at table level. Okay, if you want to make only one column as a primary key, then you can define at column level, that we can say column level primary key. If you want primary key but on multiple columns, means you can define at table level. Okay, that we can say composite primary key. Okay, if you want to create on multiple columns, means that we can say composite primary key. Okay, if you want to define column table level also, one column also you can specify, that also will work. Clear? Let me create. Okay, what I told earlier, if you are defining the unique constraint, by default internally it will create the one unique index, unique b-tree index will be created. Okay, that will be applicable for this primary key as well, because internally it will be having the unique constraint. Okay, clear? Yeah, let me go to practical things. Create table tab underscore primary. Okay, let me create a number. Okay, I want to make first column as a primary key. Okay, simply you can do directly, you can make primary key, primary space key. Okay, you can define like that, or if you want you can give name as name also. Okay, so how you can give name? Constraint prime underscore a. Okay, like that I will give, and I will add another columns. Okay, the that is of worker to serial number. Okay, I am taking the three columns here. Okay, I am creating the table with primary key as a column. Okay, so internally what will happen? Internally it will be having the not null plus unique constraint for the a column. Okay, let me insert the records for that. Insert tab underscore prime values. So first time we are inserting the values. Okay, let me add one some characters that is of a some two. Okay, like that I will add. Record will be inserted because we are not inserting any null values. Okay, let me try to insert the duplicate records for that. Okay, so what it will give, it will violates the unique constraint. Okay, it won't allow to enter the duplicates here. Okay, let me try to insert the null record for that. Okay, a primary. Okay, I want to give only b comma c. Okay, I won't consider the a value. Means internally what you are doing, you are inserting the null value for the a. Yes or no? If you are not mentioning the column here and if you are not passing that value, it will be treated as a null. Okay, then only you will get the not null constraint. You are getting both. Okay, primary key, it is violating the this particular constraint. Okay, go and check what is the constraint for this one, what you need to take care of that one. Okay, it won't allow any duplicates. Let me add a and you can give the value null. Okay, anyway you can try yourself. It won't allow because it won't allow any null values for the particular column. Clear? If you want to check your for this primary key whether index is created or not. Okay, go and check that one. BBA underscore indexes where table underscore name equal to, you need to specify that index, right? Tab underscore primary. Okay, internally it is created as a one index which is of type unique. Okay, because internally it will be having the unique constraint. Clear? And name also you can specify that. You can check, it will be having that constraint. Okay, that is of type primary key. Okay, earlier we are having the unique. Okay, so like this we can create the primary keys. Next, what I told, you cannot create primary key for the multiple columns. Okay, table should contain only single primary key. Okay, let me try to make two inside this one. If you want you can made constraints. Okay, you can add a number of constraints here. Okay, columns. Okay, if you want you can add a number of columns here. Okay, here you can make unique, here you can make unique, it will take. Okay, if you want to make combination then you can add at the table level. Okay, but if you want to individual columns you can add a number of columns here. Okay, it will allow. But if I try to make primary key at multiple columns, let me do that one. Won't allow. Okay, table can have only one primary key. But if you want to check your not null things and all, right, you can add n number of constraint, check constraint also. You can add n number of constraint for the table, it will allow. But for primary key means it should be containing only one record. Okay, I will add not null here. Okay, same not null I will add here. I am not defining at this one. Okay, I am adding this one. Okay, you can add a number of columns here, it will be created. Okay, even if you want create or replace table, it will work. It won't work here. Okay, you need to use drop table only. Okay, you can check unique queue, it will accept that one. Same unique queue you can add here as well. If you want you can add both also. Okay, it will allow that one, even check constraint also, but you cannot add the two primary keys for the two columns. Okay, it won't allow the system. If you want, you can add the primary key as a combination, that we can say what, composite primary key. Okay, at you can define the primary key at table level. Okay, so how you can do, instead of here specifying here, you can add after numbers. Okay, after your data type definitions, you can add that. Okay, if you want to give your name, one name means you can give that one, add constraint. Okay, so you can specify constraint, and constraint type is what, primary. Okay, you can give your own name and prime underscore some pt. Okay, like that you can give any name that should be unique, and you can specify the constraint type as well here, primary key of, you can specify the combination. What are all the columns here? I want to create the columns at two columns. Okay, just you can specify the a comma b. Okay, if you want, you can add n number of columns here, but it will check for the that combination. Clear? Okay, here also we are having that one. That's why it is not allowing. Now we can add that one. Okay, table type primary key is inserted. Let me insert the few record here. Insert into tab primary two values. Here you can add the your columns. Okay, so let me add one comma some character, right? So you can give some a, and next column would be some number. Okay, you can add this one, it will allow. Okay, you can add that one. If you are changing any column here, okay, it will allow, because this combination is not the duplicate. Okay, I am changing any one of the value. Okay, if you are changing any one of the value, it will allow. If you are trying to insert any duplicate here, it will avoid the insertion. Okay, then here internally it will avoid the unique constraint violation, since internally it is having the unique key, so it will violate that one. Clear? And you can try to insert the null values for this one. Okay, null comma a comma 3, let me insert. You cannot insert the null values also, because internally it will be having the what, not null also. Clear? Anybody have any doubts in this one? It won't allow. I am showing all the possible cases. Okay, wherever you are getting the errors, okay, I am showing all the possible error case. Means with this constraint, what you are doing, you are avoiding the invalid data for that. Okay, if you are creating the constraint, system won't allow to insert the these records, error records. Before, means instead of inserting this invalid data to the table, before inserting itself, it will be avoided that one. Clear? Hmm. Hmm. What, to which columns you are defined primary key, for that columns it will allow the it won't allow the duplicate and null values. We cannot make, we cannot add two primary keys in the table. We can add only one primary key. If you want on multiple columns, okay, then you can use as a combination of the key. Okay, means it is not the two primary key, it is the combination. Okay, see here I am using the same column, 1 comma a 1 comma 1, but I am changing the other column. Okay, entire this combination it is treating as a primary key. It is not taking the only first column as a primary key. It is taking the entire combination 1 comma A, 1 comma B. Here I am changing the second column. Even though I am entering the same first value as same, I am entering the second column. So this will be fine. Okay, even for this one as well. Okay, already I am having the A. If I am changing the second value is 2. Okay, so I am changing the combination. Still it is allowing. If you are trying to insert the same record with this combination already existed, right? 1 comma A. Okay. If I am trying to insert the same record again means this time it will give the error. Same thing even in EQ also. Okay, and also internally it contains not null. Okay, system should not allow the null values to the primary key columns. Even though if you are defined as a composite primary key, it won't allow null values to the particular column. But if you are defining as a table level unique key, it will allow duplicates. It will allow the null values, yes or no? That already we saw that one. See, we are defined unique key at a table level. Okay, A comma B, but we are inserted null values. Even though it is we are inserting the same record, still it is allowing. But if you are trying to insert the same record, then only we received the error. Okay, this record will not allow once again. But if you are entering the null values means it will allow. But in case of primary key, you cannot insert the for the primary key columns null values. Clear? Anybody have any doubts? This is very important. If you are clear, I will go for the another constraint. This is very important, little tricky, and also it is very important. Foreign key, okay, or we can say foreign key. We need to specify that one as a references key. Okay, you need to use these two words combination. Okay, sometimes if you want only you need to refer that value. Okay, if I am deriving one table, okay, that value should be there in some other table. Okay, then you can specify that reference. Okay, whether that record is existed or not. Okay, if you want to go with that such type of things means you have to specify as a reference key. If you want to make the build, if you want to build the relationship that one table to another table, you need to specify the keyword called foreign key. Okay, even though without using the foreign key you can specify the references key. Okay, normally what is that meaning? If you are building the relationship with that one means you are integrating your data. Okay, you should be having some relationship with your data. Okay, if you are having, if your database is satisfying this relationship with the primary keys and foreign keys, okay, then only you can say your database is RDBMS. If it is not supporting any relational things and all, you cannot say that database is relational databases. Whether you are using or not doesn't matter, but that database should support the this relationship where you will be having the relationship with references keyword, references or foreign keyword. Maybe that keyword will be different, but you should be having same type of concept there as well. Then only you can say it is a RDBMS. Clear? Yes, yes. Yes, if relations are not supporting by your database, then you cannot say that database is RDBMS. That should be only DBMS, not the RDBMS. Very first class itself we told, right. Let me take that one. Okay, there are okay. if your database, if you want to say your database is the rdbms, then the database should be supported. These are all the features: atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. Okay, these properties, four properties should satisfy. Okay, atomicity means, let's assume you are inserting some 10 records. Okay, something went wrong. Okay, whenever you are doing the DML operation, something went wrong. Okay, so either it should insert all 10 records, or no record should insert. Technically something happened. Okay, power went or something, server crash, something may happen due to for that. Okay, so either any one thing should, all the transactions should save, or no transaction should be saved. When it will be saved? When it will be properly done? Technically, what will be the keyword we need to use in that case? Commit keyword, right? Commit, what it will do? Your your buffer changes will be saved in the permanent storage. Okay, means if you are doing the commit, are you saving only 5 transactions or 10 transactions? No, right? Whatever changes you are done, everything is you are doing. Okay, in that there is no partial things. Okay, either all transactions should save, or no transaction should be saved. Okay, how you can say no transaction should be saved? How you can cancel all the transactions? Rollback. If you are using the rollback command, means whatever you are done in the buffer memory, all the transactions should be revoked. Okay, all the temporary transactions are removed, cancelled. Okay, then we can say that is atomicity. Okay, either all the transactions should save, or no transaction should be saved. Okay, internally we have to use the commit and rollback commands for this one. Okay, and consistency. And let's assume you are doing some 100 transaction. Okay, you are doing the commit or you are using the rollback. Okay, let's assume you are doing some 100 transactions. If something went wrong, only 50 transactions or 80 transactions only saved, not saved the 100 records. Okay, means system won't allow to do the partial changes and all. Before transactions, how many transactions you are having, same number of transactions should be there after commit also. Even one record also should not miss. Okay, it should commit all your data. Whatever you are doing, it should commit all your data before transaction. Okay, here you can say either commit or rollback, but here you are doing commit. But whatever changes you are done, how many number of transactions you are doing, same number of transactions should be saved in your permanent storage. Even one transaction also should not miss. Okay, then you can say that is consistency. Okay, isolation. Each and every transactions will maintain individually. Okay, let's take, you are doing some deposit amount in Bangalore, and another person depositing in some Hyderabad. Okay, another person is depositing in some other place on same account only. Okay, for the same account holder, you are people are depositing some different places, or same time multiple people are depositing in the bank account. Okay, so each and every transaction should maintain independently. Okay, it should not overlap with one transaction. Okay, let's on multiple, okay, same server you are utilizing in bank, five single window operators are there. All people are taking the deposits. Okay, all people are accepting the deposits. If they are doing all the transactions at a time, if they are using commit also, still Each and every transaction should work independently. You cannot deposit amount should be another person. Okay, your deposit amount should not impact with another deposit amount. Okay, you are doing some 10,000, another person is 50,000, another person is some 5,000. Okay, if that amounts are got changed, it means what happened? It will be problem, right? So it should not overlap with any of the other transaction. It should be every transaction should be independently work. Okay, that we can say isolation. Okay, if you are doing multiple transactions at a time, if you are if your transactions are overlapping, means there is a chance of occurrence of deadlock. Okay, if something went wrong, okay, you are also depositing some amount, another person also depositing amount, another person also doing same. Okay, due to this number of transactions at a time, if they are getting any issues, means there will be chance of occurrence of deadlock. So system should support to maintain the each and every transaction should maintain individually. Okay, durability. Whenever you are doing the commit, system should automatically update the things and all. Permanently, it should store. Okay, here disk means it's not the hard disk, your server storage, Oracle server storage. For your understanding purpose, I told HDD hard disk in initial classes, but once you understood the concepts, things and all, that should be your Oracle memory. Clear? Yes. If it is supporting ACID properties, then only you can say that database is the RDBMS. Okay. Anybody have any doubts in this one? Because few people may miss and few people may get confused with the ACID properties. What is ACID properties? You should be aware of this one. Clear? Yeah. Okay. No. If you are doing the data warehousing concepts, means there is no matter of commit and rollback. You are doing. Okay, I am not sure data lake. Actually, I don't have experience with data lake and all. Maybe that is transactional basis database. I'm not sure that one. Okay, if that database is supporting the ACID properties, then only we can say that is a RDBMS. Any database. Maybe if a data lake is supporting the ACID properties, if it is supporting, then we can say data lake is also RDBMS. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't know that one actually. Maybe if it is supports, then we can say delta lake. Okay, but it should support acid properties to make to call that one as a RDBMS. It should support. Okay, yeah. Come to our topic, and also if this whatever you discussed, right, if they are supporting all the things, it should be support this data integration as well. Okay, even though without creating the data constraint also, you can say you can able to build the relationships and all. Okay, in data warehousing, data lake or this one. Okay, any hive or this and all we can if you want you can utilize with some other options by making the references with the other tables and all. Okay, for that what you have to do we need to create any constraint with till now we discuss did we discuss references keyword and foreign key? No, right? How we have done that one for exist class or in operator. With this one also we can able to check whether data is there or not. Yes or no? But Yeah, subqueries, exist classes, we can check that one whether data is there presented or not, like that you can check. But you cannot insert, you cannot restrict the while inserting. Yeah, joins also same thing only. Okay, relational columns only will use for the joins and all. Till now, that word I have not used it. Relational word. But internally, we are using the same concept only, all the times. Relational columns only will use for the joins. Okay, if that existence, exist operator means what it will do. In child class, in derived child query, you will be writing the that parent query object equal to child query object. Yes or no? So what does means, you are referencing that internally, you are referencing parent object in the child query. Okay, means you are using the relationship internally. Okay, all the places you are using the relationship. But with all these topics, you cannot restrict the insertion. You can able to select that one with the relational things and all, but you cannot avoid the insertion, you cannot avoid the DML operations with that. Yes or no? If you want to restrict the such type of things and all means, you can go with the foreign key and references key. Clear? Theory topic is, you should be aware of that one. Okay, practical things is just, it's a matter of syntax. If you are following the syntax, that will be clear. But these are all the topics. Theoretically, you should be very clear. That's why I told, whatever I have discussed before last Friday, that and all completely practical. You should be having very good knowledge on practical things. From yesterday's topic onwards, you should be aware of conceptual knowledge. Okay, so here there is no point of applying the logic and all. Okay, it is a matter of this was syntax only, nothing is there. But internally, you should be having the concept, you should be understood concept, what and all we are using for this one, what and all things we need to take care of that one. Okay, all the things you need to understand. Clear this one? Okay, let me explain this basic. Okay, tomorrow I will take one real time example with relational with relationship, how we can insert the data things and all. Maybe for previous class students already aware of that example, still will take same example for better understanding. Okay, so how you can build the relationships and all, you have to use the references keyword. Okay, let me create one table. And one more thing, if you have any relationship, you cannot drop the table, you cannot delete the records independently. You should be having proper knowledge on the deletion, dropping, adding, everything. Okay, DBA underscore tables, where table name, like T2, already dropped, right? T2 does not exist, but still it is showing. Right? T47. Okay, this is there in the other databases, not in the sysuser. Okay, double T2. What does mean? If I am giving underscore, what will happen? Only it will take the second letter only will take. Okay, means whichever is starting with T, and if you are having only second letter, those tables list you will get here. Okay, actually already some tables are built on this one. That's why I could not able to draw this one. If you want to see the relationship with the tables and all means, you have to go with the user constraint. Okay, DBA constraint on. You can specify the tables and all. Enable not enable deferrable table where you are referring that. Draw this one. Second. Use that one. Okay, let me create some table one. C1 means column 1 and okay, some C2 that is of number 2. Okay, I am defining this one as a primary key, or you can even no need to specify primary key as well, still it will take that one. Okay, let me create the insert the record. Okay, so name is already existed, tab underscore sys1. Okay, table is created. I want to create another table based on this one. I should be having the relationship with this one. Okay, I will create that is of 2. Okay, same column names I will utilize. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I want to make build the relationship with, if value is there in the first table, then only you can able to insert the record in the second table. Like that I want to define that one. So for that, what you have to use, you have to use the one keyword called references. Okay, so references keyword you can specify here, and you need to specify the table name as well. Okay, where you are referring that one. Okay, so you need to refer that one, and which one is which column, you need to specify the C1 column. Okay, so like that, if you want to build the relationship means you need to use the keyword. Understanding what is references will do, if the values existed in the first table, then only if the value will be allowed in the second table means, if you want to build such type of relationship, then you have to go with the references. Okay, create table name, you have to specify the keyword called tab. Okay, table of particular thing, C1 only, right? There is no, yeah, we should be having the primary key. Sorry, I forgot. Which C1 number of primary key. If the value is there, then only it will allow, otherwise it won't allow. Okay, we should be having the primary key as well for that. Okay, let me create that one. Okay, so now table is created. Let's try to insert the records for the table 2. I have not inserted the values for the table 1. Directly I will try to insert the values for the table 2 here. values. 1 comma 2 both are numbers, right? So let me insert that one. It won't allow. Integrity constraint violation error. Parent key not found means whatever you are entering the value, that should be there in your parent table. Okay, this is the parent table, this is the child table. Okay, you are defining at child table. Okay, you are defining this relationship in the child table. So you should be having that parent keys in the child parent keys in the table as well. So what you have to take a care here, you should be having that particular records in the table 1 parent table. You should be having that one. If the value is there, then you can insert the records for the child table. Okay, this column is ignored. Okay, because you are not building any relationship for this column. This no need to mandatory, no need to insert that one. You should be having first column only. Because you are defining for the only first column, right? So you can add that one. So one is there in the first table. Now you can able to insert the record in the second table. If you want, you can add a number of records. Okay, even you can enter the duplicates as well. Just it's a matter of you should be having the value in the parent table. That's it. Okay, let's try to insert another record with another combination. Okay, let's try to with 2. So you cannot insert the record for the record in the parent child table, because parent table there is no 2 value for the C1 column. Okay, that will be violated. Clear? Okay, if you want, you can create that relationship with table level also. Okay, what I told, if you want to specify that table level means you have to specify your relationship in the at the end. That's it, right? Okay, if you want, you can specify both the columns. So write the answers. Okay, yeah, why I cannot add the 2 columns? Anybody guess? Hmm? No, here for references not required the comma. Okay, so if you are using like this means it won't allow. Yeah, table level means we should use, right? Somewhere I did mistake. References. Yeah, we are specifying that. Okay, let me add comma. Okay, only references we may not add at a table level. Actually, what I expected from you guys, because we have not created the primary key on 2 columns. That's why should not add 1 column here. Okay, we cannot add 2 columns like that. I expected from you, because we have created the primary key on only 1 column, right? If you are adding this primary key in table levels, okay, as a primary key means, then you can say here you can utilize that one, but we have defined it. It is taking, but actually table level it is not taking. So table level we can add only foreign key, but not the references key. This is references. Okay, till now we have not discussed the foreign key. Only references key only I'm explaining till now. Both are will both are similar, that one similar one only. Okay, reference. Okay, reference by naming itself whether we should be having the data in the parent table or not. Yeah, syntax will be different. Hmm. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. So you are expecting same thing. Yeah, you can allow, but you cannot add duplicate records. That's it. Parent table also you should be having one record. Child table also you should be having one record. That's it. References will do only, will check the whether you are having the record specified value is there in the parent table or not. That's it. Okay, it won't do anything. Re- yeah, references is the defining the in child table. Already we have created the table. Once you created the parent, then only you can go with the references. Otherwise, see, without creating this table, do we able to create this one? You cannot refer that one, right? See, we are creating the first time. Without defining that table, you cannot define very first itself. You cannot refer that one. If you have the table, then only you can able to refer. You cannot able to refer after that, right? Before that. So means you are expecting alter. Am I correct? Yes. Now parent and child tables are there. Yes, correct. Yes, correct. Parent table. This reference. So one second. When you are created the table to, yes. Okay. You are expecting what? Okay. So table already created. Okay. If you want to refer this child object, this one means what you have to do. Once you have created, what you have to do. If you want it, you have to use the alter command only. Otherwise, it won't allow. Because either you need to drop the table. Yes. Let's try to do dropping here. Okay. If you are trying to drop the first table, what will happen? It will give the error. You cannot drop the table. That is the relation. Because you are existed the child table for this table. You are referring the that parent table in the two tables. You cannot drop directly the parent table and all. Yeah, you can able, if you want, you can able to create another table with this reference. That will allow. Okay, so this is two like that I will create. Here I will refer this instead of that. I will refer the second table. That will allow. Okay, you can add n number of derive one by one. You can add n number of tables. But once your child table is created, you cannot able to drop the parent tables and all. Let me alter also we can do if that relation is not there. For the particular columns we cannot do. Clear? Yeah. Same way insertion also. If you are having the data in the parent table for the particular column, whatever values are you are having, that values only will be allowed in the child class. Otherwise, you cannot enter the values. Clear? You will be getting the, if the value is not there, you will be getting the integrity constraint violation errors. Okay, this is very bigger topic. Let's again we can discuss this references and foreign key. Today, tomorrow we'll complete this complete topic, and we can take one example day after tomorrow. Okay, one practical example. Tomorrow only I will explain one example and I will give one assignment to do the to make the relationships and to make the insertion updations. Okay, and one application, Amazon application only. Okay, that will be better example. Okay, try yourself that one. Tomorrow I will tell you. Okay, make sure you should be practice this unique constraint, not null constraint, primary key constraint, and references at least, because this is if you understood the references, then only you can able to understand the tomorrow primary foreign key concept. Otherwise it will be like kind of only concept. Okay, only syntactically you might be having that knowledge, but syntactical knowledge not useful much. Okay, you should be having conceptual knowledge for these constraints. Okay, practically you can do drop insertion, alter things, that you can try yourself practically. But conceptually also you should be clear with this topic. Clear?